right in the middle there, like that. And it says to test fit everything before you glue it, but I've already built one of these, so it's pretty straightforward. There's some old dried glue on there. It's the other advantage to the cup is I can throw away all my old dried glue. So we just put a little blah right here. That's a technical term. And do the same thing on the other. And this glue takes a little while to dry, so you don't have to worry about putting down too much and then having it dry while you're assembling. That just fits in there like that. I felt like this was kind of a weird design because it's literally taking up twice as much space as a central divider would. But it's how they designed it, so that's how it works. And then you can see there's a little bit of extra glue right there. You can just take one of these guys and clean it up. That's why I keep these around. And it's okay if there's a little over bleed on any of the glue, because this glue actually contracts as it dries. So it becomes clear and it retracts, so it's not even really an issue once it dries. Then we put in the ends. And it doesn't take a lot of glue to hold these together. For one, they're super, super light and they have a lot of overlap. Got some glue on my finger. So it's really just kind of enough to hold them together. It doesn't have to be, you're not building a house. And especially with these, because they don't have bottoms, which I foolishly forgot at one point. And tried to pick up a whole stack of cards out of the box. They don't have bottoms, so really they just live in the box, so they don't even really move around that much. Like that. I mean, you could go crazy and you could glue every single edge, and sure, it would be stronger, but is it necessary? Not even a little bit. I mean, I've definitely done some trays of theirs that are intended to come out and be used on the table, and I still assembled them with just the same amount. It doesn't even have to be clean. I mean, look, I've got glue all over the place. It's fine. It's going to dry clear. You'll never notice. It's going to live in the box. You'll never notice. But yeah, I've got other games with these inserts that are specifically designed to be taken out of the box and used on the table, and I put them together with these exact same, in the exact same way, and none of them have fallen apart. And then I always keep the box out while I'm working, because then I can put the wet pieces on the box out of the way. Oops, there's a pretty big blob. Let's clean that up a little bit. There we go. And then we're just going to repeat the process. The nice thing is this particular insert is basically the same three things twice each, or something like this. Something like that. It's pretty close. So we do exactly the same thing a second time, and these are all symmetrical. So it's not like I even have to worry about which side I'm putting together on any of these. They're pretty smart. They're pretty smart guys. The only issue I ever run into is they do ship from Belgium. So especially right now, the wait time on shipping is pretty high. Like I think it took almost a month to get these in. And there are some resellers in the United States. They don't even mark it up really at all. So might be worthwhile to get it that way. I tend to buy them directly from Folded Space, just because then I know my money's going right to them. But yeah, the wait time on the last delivery was kind of absurd. Hush. Hey, it's snow, you dummy. Snow falling off a tree. My dog, she will bark and growl at anything she hears outside, regardless of how dumb it is. Like I don't even usually do this much cleanup. I usually just kind of do the outside edges a little bit. It really does, you know, dry up pretty compact. Plus I sleeve all my cards, at least, well, I don't sleeve all of my cards, but I sleeve all the cards for this game because they do get touched and handled a lot. Which means that, you know, the edges aren't really even going to get damaged from touching any over glopping, I guess is a term that I could use for this. It's not overspray. I mostly do the outsides just so that they'll fit snug against each other in the box. There we go. Look at that. We're like a third of the way done already. Okay, so the next step, we're going to use this piece and this piece, and then we're going to use this piece. Look, we got another free stick, and this piece. There we go. This piece, and another free stick, and this piece. And I guess you could pull all the extra sticks out ahead of time, and then have them to use the whole time. And again, you know, they always recommend pre-assembling just so you can be familiar with how it's going to go together. And I usually do it so I can kind of see, all right, where's the what is the best order to put this stuff in? I mean, they give you an order in the book, but I don't always agree with the instructions. Because a lot of times I want to put it together in a particular order that maximizes, or rather minimizes where I have to put glue to get the best connections. Like, oh, well, this one actually does put the sides on first. And totally don't even have to be neat with this stuff. It is just so quick and easy. Like I've done a lot of wood inserts too. These are a PVC foam. It's a PVC layer over a foam layer, which makes them super light. They do end up being slightly, ever so slightly thicker than if it was laser cut wood. But so little, and the cost benefit is much, much better. These are way cheaper than most laser cut wood inserts that I've bought. I mean, there are some games that definitely deserve a laser cut insert. Small World, perfect example. I probably overbought inserts for that, but it's such a good game, it deserves it. This is a good game too. There are a limited number of inserts for Aeon's End, and especially Aeon's End New Age, because they changed the box size with New Age. So there are a lot of inserts for Aeon's End that in fact don't fit New Age. So that's kind of annoying. And as I put this piece together, I recall one of the other advantages of all of this, especially using the tack glue and everything. You have time to make mistakes. Because I know last time I did this, I took this end piece, which if you notice doesn't have a tab at the bottom, and I totally put it on one of the, or this is the centerpiece. I totally put one of I put the centerpiece out on one of the ends. And I had plenty of time to take it off and put it where it was supposed to, and then put the appropriate piece there. Look at that, piece of cake. One more piece down. And then it's nice because I can start kind of cross-stacking them, because there isn't a ton of cardboard space over there. The trickiest bits, I think, are to determine whether pieces are actually symmetrical or not. Because like on bins like this, where there's a center divider, that center divider isn't always in the center, and it might not be completely obvious. So you definitely want to take the edge pieces when you're dealing with one of these and hold them up, like line them up, see if the two center slots line up, and then switch one side and see if it does the same thing. See if it still lines up. Because I believe even in this one of them has an offset piece. And you want to make sure you put that piece in the correct way, because if you put it in the wrong way, well, like I said, you have time to make mistakes. And that would be one. But, yeah, and this is just a simple, it's tacky glue, the original tacky glue. It is absolutely perfect for this stuff. I like it because it's a little bit thick and blobby, and it totally stays in place. It's easy to clean up. Like I said before, it dries clear, so it doesn't matter really how good or bad a job you do. It is a glue that contracts as it dries, as I said before, which again also makes it so you don't have to be super precise or perfect. Like I could pull out some of the inserts from the other one. I might do that at the end. Like just pull out one of these little bins, because they look great. They totally look fine when they're done. And again, it's just a hold your crap. Doesn't have to look that great. I mean, it's not like assembling miniatures. That's a different level. You want that to be precise. Look at that. Here's another one done. Okay. So then now we're going to do the offset box. So we need one of these. And then one of these. And both of these. So this one? Yeah. Oops, 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 oops. We didn't get any free sticks out of this one. It's good that we have all these other sticks that we used before. And this one, as I was saying before, is not symmetrical. It's extremely obvious that it's not symmetrical, but as per my example, that one is not symmetrical. Belgium. So they ought to send waffles with every time you get one. Order your folded space insert, get a free waffle. But to be fair, if I waited a month for my waffle, it probably isn't going to be in very good shape when it gets here. All right. So now, to be extremely careful, to line these up. All right. Success. The only thing that bugs me is the way that these are cut. You can tell that they're run through probably a punch cut. And so the edges do have a slight curve to them. Like this side is curving in and this side is curving out. And this is just a me thing, being super anal like I am. Usually I try and get all of the edges to curve in, but when you have a piece like this, where it's off center, like that, you don't get any choice, and 90% of the time, because they're cutting their boards exactly the same. All their boards are not symmetrical, but they use one punch. It means that one of these pieces is curving out and the other one's curving in. But whatever. If that's the worst I have to deal with on these, then we're still doing pretty okay. Oops. When you swipe that glue off, make sure to hold all the pieces in place. It doesn't help if you're trying to trying to really get the best adhesion on something, and then you knock it off in the process, because then you just have to stick it back on again. Yeah, so when I release my DVD of my gaming streams, this will be in the special features. All right, we are over halfway done. Though the last two pieces, or not the last two pieces, the last piece is one of the most complicated ones. Not just for this set, but probably the most complicated piece I've built from Folded Space at all. And I definitely, you know, hush! Silly dog. I definitely had to loose fit it twice before I actually assembled it, because it was super tricky, and I knew I was going to mess it up. All right, so on this one we need this. Wait, did I miss one? I did miss one. Oopsie. Before we get to that, I don't know why I put that back in there. That's silly, but especially since it kind of smudged that edge. But before we get to this, we need to build this. I forget. There's one here. Oh, you can't see that. There's one here, and there's one here. Usually the instructions read straight across, but this one there's two next to each other, and that's why I missed it. All right, so we're going to take these three pieces, and then this piece, and then this piece. All right. So these two are done. I don't need those anymore. Everything else is over here. All right, and this is just like that one, only with no centerpiece. So this one's actually going to go together even faster. Everyone remember that Sesame Street character? He was Sesame Street, right? He might have been Electric Company, maybe? The typewriter that typed on his own face. I always thought he was hilarious. All right. All right, so we'll finish up this, and then we will do. Right? I think that's all that left. No, there's two. Sorry, there's two long bins also. I hate when I forget to do the top blobs. To go back and forth and back and forth. All right, there are two. No, there's one tall box, but it's assembled in like a weird variety of ways. All right, and then here. And then clean all this up. Not a variety of ways. It's assembled in one way, but whereas these are like, they're always kind of the same. You know, the pieces just slot in and everything slides together. This long box, because it's making use of a lot of weird odds and ends. It's built in a couple of weird ways. Because we need those two pieces. And then we need this piece, and this piece. No, not that piece. This piece. And this piece. And then out of the other bin, the other punch out, we need the same three pieces. Like there was some thought when they put this one together, or rather when they designed this one. I gotta pick that up or the robot will try and eat it. All right. And this one's kind of funny. This is the first time I've ever seen them do this. You get two pieces like this and they slot together to make a bigger piece. Same with over here. They slot together to make a bigger piece. I've never actually seen them do that before. It's definitely conservation of space to do that. The nice thing again, these things are held in multiple directions, so they don't even really need to be seriously glued together. Just enough to kind of make sure they hold together. And I like to put them over here so that there's a slight edge. It holds up, or it makes for a space. The only downside is I get glued on the mat right there. But, all right, I'm going to try not to do that this time. Put those together like that. I think last time I put them together immediately before putting them on the project, so I didn't have to worry about being as precise because I was immediately putting them in the finished product. Okay. So then we take, which one is that? That's this one. Is going to go, no. Yeah, that one's going to go right there. So now I'm like seriously trying to avoid this spot over here because I don't want to dip something in glue. But again, I mean, these, in the end, all of these designs are almost identical as far as the way they're assembled, because this is, for all intents and purposes, this is almost exactly the same as the first pieces we did. Oops, I almost put my glue down the wrong direction so it wouldn't stay pooled up at the cap. Yeah, I definitely did that immediately last time, which does make a difference. You don't really have to find a place to put it where it could bend or glue to the surface where it's sitting and resting. Come on. There it goes. There we go. Beauteous. And then we put this long bottom piece on. And see, like I said before, I'm not even going to bother with putting glue on the cross piece, because just these edges alone should be more than sufficient. Man, my animals today are going bananas. They're getting distracted by all kinds of stuff happening in the great outdoors. Oops. There's that, and then this goes in the same way. Like that. Look at that. Glue also dries on your fingers real fast, so cleaning up your hands is pretty much inconsequential. See? Look how easy that all goes together. And then we just do the ends, which is like every other piece. Glue in the low spots. Try not to, stick your finger in a place you've pre-glued or pre-drizzled glue. Goes this direction. Yeah, the only reason I decided to do this is because all the equipment was still set up from the last stream. Super silly. I mean, who wants to actually watch someone do this? This is ridiculous. Who knows? Maybe the people from Folded Space will come across this and be like, "Oh, that's cool. Someone's actually showing people how to put these things together." Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. All right, so that's one more piece done. Yeah, it totally, like when you get on your fingers, it totally does the old fake boogers from elementary school trick. All right, shoulders hurt for some reason. Right in here. I didn't even work out today. Okay, this is the last one. This is the weird one. This is the one that goes together very, very particularly. It's almost like a puzzle, which is funny because it's only 6 pieces. But it's so... I don't know. It took me 3 tries to figure out exactly how to line it all up. So those pieces go on last. Those are the ends. And then 2 pieces go like that. Is that right? No, I've already screwed up. Yeah, yes. And that one goes there. And then that one goes there. I don't know why it took me so long the first time, but that's how it goes. Okay. I don't even remember quite how I glued it last time. Oop, don't forget the cap. Alright, so then this is going to go here. And it's silly to put glue on there because it's just going to smear right down off the bottom. I mean, there's a little bit in there. This piece is mostly held together by hopes and dreams. It really is held together by the end pieces. Alright, and then help me out here. That one goes there. Yep. Which means I can do some glue here. I think last time I may have actually just put some in the cracks. That. And then this one's going to go over here. Oops, there's a little blob right there I want to straighten out. There. Which means, again, I'm going to put it in the low spots. Because I have been known to, like, if I don't feel like something's going to be strong enough from where the glue is that I put on it, getting a little dollop on the end here. I have been known to just run glue up along the joint. I don't know if it helps or not. It makes me feel better. So then this piece goes this. Everything feels real crooked at first because this one is so oddly assembled. Really, until the last 2 pieces are put on, none of it lines up quite right. But then we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill all these low spots. Like that. So we can put this piece on, which really helps to square everything up. And then rotate it and do the same thing again. It took more time the first time. I have a little bit of experience with this piece now. It doesn't seem complicated when you're watching it, but it was tricky. Part of it is because you get used to this particular style of dovetail for the ends of anything, and this piece does not have that for all of the outside edges. Considering the outside edges over here are simple single overhangs as opposed to the triple dovetail. But that's it. And that's the whole thing. And the only thing that was kind of misleading, and I wish that I had written on it, is there's one extra piece. And that's just because everything's cut symmetrically, but we have this bin and this bin. So This is the extra one of those, but that one's not notched, so it doesn't exist. But yeah, so just because I said I would, forgot to put this down in the glue. If we look at this piece right here, I mean, you can see, probably not on camera, like there was a shine there for a second. I had it just right so the light caught it. But there's little glue edges inside of there. Oh, that's the paper coming off. Let me glue that back together. But there are little glue highlights on it, but they're completely clear, and everything's basically completely flush now. That bugs me a little bit. Which means now I have to leave this piece out of the box for a little while. That is way too much. That was not how much glue I meant to put on there. Oh, it's not going to stay down though. Maybe if I lay it down on that edge, it will probably still pop up as soon as I pick it up. Because it is just kind of a paperish surface over the foam. We'll put that like that. Leave that space open. But yeah, that's it. And now I've got all this stuff in the way. I can't even reach over to turn off the stream. So I guess this will just stream infinitely. No, I'm just kidding. We drag this out of the way. And again, I know that this was kind of silly and kind of dumb, but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And there's my camera. See you next time.